What's up, everyone? It's Dan McDonald, and we are going to keep this video marathon rolling along. I sure appreciate you being here. Today, I'm just going to brag about the farmers market haul. Well, actually, only some of it is from the farmers market. This whole box is actually straight from Jaland, and that's what's absolutely amazing. So I wanted to share with you my real food. I'm just trying to, that's kind of my thing to everybody. I talk to everyone, and you know, a lot of people kind of get on the internet and argue about the minutiae. What I'm trying to do is, you know, and you got to remember, because I deal with so many people consulting. So they're everybody's on every end of the scale. Then you see like the influencers, and then all these genres and stuff, and factions. But what I'm trying to get to mostly what I'm really trying to do for people, later on down the road, as you get more refined, you can start to look at the details of healing, and you can start playing with dry fasting and water fasting and juice fasting and herbs and supplements and all kinds of different body work and frequency therapy. There's all kinds of great stuff that you can do. But the general masses of people, they've been bamboozled. And it's like the luckiest thing that ever happened to me. Even though I had all kinds of relapses on drugs and alcohol and women and all that stuff, I still managed to somehow, it just made sense to me to eat whole foods, And that happened even in the days when I was just dazed and confused. Just because I was going when I first got into this, I would go back and forth, between, trying to eat healthy just because I had the juicer, and somebody said, take wheatgrass shots. So, I'd go and take wheatgrass shots before the gym, and then I'd be like, wow, my workouts are like twice as good. Eventually you learn about the wheatgrass and the chlorophyll and the carrying of the hemoglobin and the red blood cells, so that you have more oxygen delivered to the tissues, and then you have more energy, for your workouts. And you figure that out years later. In the beginning, all you say, wheatgrass is good for you. Someone told me to take it, and I started taking a shot of wheatgrass every day. I was homeless, and I'd walk up there, and, I think it was $4 for a 2-ounce shot or something, and I'd knock that back. So somehow I got really lucky with whole foods, and that's the reason why I think I have a really healthy body, and what I'm working on, specifically regenerating my brain, and my kidneys and my liver. They're pretty good. We're never gonna get out of here. We've been, but I'm just kind of into it now after all these years. I'm like, let's see how far we can go with this thing, and everything's working real well. But the brain is one very sensitive organ, and it's the same as everything else, sort of. But a lot of the other organs cleanse themselves a lot easier with, the main thing is like the fasting, water fasting, or coupled with, because you can go back and forth between the water fasting, which is just plain water. And then I know the hygienists think that's the be-all, end-all, but sometimes intermittent type fasting, which I'm not talking about like 12 or 18 hours. It's not really fasting. I know these days it's like this whole big trend, but really fasting starts about day 3 and is really in full motion between like day 7 and 10. And then you're getting benefits for sure. Even when you miss a meal, you get benefits, but the longer that you go, the deeper it goes, and layers and kind of wipes out the sins written on the book of life. This is a very deep understanding of karma, but it's just one little layer at a time. But then if it's just plain water, which is good, you get a lot of physiological rest, but then sometimes some of those hardened masses don't really, there's no solvent properties. So going back and forth between juicing, living foods, some fiber too. And it's kind of like this 2 steps forward, 1 step back plan where you have to navigate and make up your own protocol, where you're using herbs and everything to get your gut straightened out kind of first and foremost, slowly over time, with some shorter fasts, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, whatever. And then you try to get on a better diet. And when you fast, it's easier to eat better, you know. But what I'm saying is, I said all that because I'm trying to just promote whole foods. I live in a very unique situation in Hawaii, but no matter where I go, I find wild foods, I find local foods, I find fresh foods. I'm just good at it. I have a very unique skill. I've never really witnessed it in anybody else in my life. I mean, Tavis is pretty good at it too, but he's not really quite at the level that I'm at, where I'm just like this ninja of just like finding either stuff in the wild or, you know, I know what's in season wherever I'm at. And so I have this weird talent with finding the highest vibrational foods. Now, all of this was picked today. Everything here was picked today. I think the durian was probably picked yesterday. Maybe the carrots and the beets were picked yesterday. They actually were way fresher. They're all looped. They were pinging, but they sat in my truck today when I was working on the land in the sun, so they got a little droopy. But when I first got there, these were pinging. These were tight. They were standing up on end, you know. And same thing with the beet greens. And so just a few hours in the truck, and things kind of go wilting. But all of this came right off the trees. So today, and I wanted to just show you some really cool stuff. I was going to show you. I'm going to save that one. Save the good ones. They're all good, actually. I'm going to make a bunch of juice. I'm going to juice all this. I don't even know if I have enough jars, because I've already got a whole refrigerator full of tonics already. Amazing tonics, you know, all kinds of different stuff that I put together. I'm just a liquid freak. I mean, the liquid diet is amazing. I'm missing the sunlight. I need to go out and get some sunlight, but I got to make a bunch of videos, and I'm going to lose the lighting here after a couple hours. So I'm going to be inside making videos for you while missing the sunlight, but I just wanted to show you the beauty of the Tangelo. And I'm going to juice that. And then I've got, what else do we got? We got some oranges. I'm going to just wanted to show you. It's just like, it's cool, you know. So actually, I was going to run everything through, and I'll pick up on that. But I'm just kind of bragging today and making content. And I think some people find this stuff to be kind of cool and interesting, my little wraps and stuff. And you can get some ideas on how you can work your way there slowly but surely. But you got to be committed. It's like a lifetime thing. You know, you can do like a 3-day juice cleanse, and that's good. You might feel a little tiny boost. But to really get in there and change the electrics of your, you know, enzyme system and your glands and your liver and your heart and your brain, and get your nerves going, and, you know, but there's a lot of other things that I do too that I don't talk about as much because they get into the realm of like religion. Not for me, they're practical, pragmatic steps for someone who's on the path of sort of an evolution, which is more of a development of skills, of awareness practices. But it's not religious at all. I mean, everything's religious because everything is God, but then you may have to shore up your weaknesses. And certain things, like if you're like a type that's more of a nervous, stringy type, which, you know, that's kind of what I am after years of all the stuff I've been through, meditating every morning has been an absolute game changer, you know, like for 1 hour. And so it's totally transformed my entire nervous system. And more people, it's weird the last few days, because what's weird is I noticed that I was like, wow, bro, you're more balanced. It was just a few days ago I had this, I'm like, wow, you're really balanced more than you've ever been, you know, because I've been balancing the diet with all the good stuff that I've been talking about more and more lately, like, you know, carbs, proteins, no proteins here, but my main source of protein is Paradigm, natural. You know what I'm saying? And it really is the best protein powder. There is, because it's pure food, and you'll taste it. You'll feel it. You'll smell it when you open the bag. It's just pure. And so I believe in amino acids. I believe in fatty acids, you know, and I believe in way more fat than is promoted in certain places, especially for me, especially for my brain, because you can burn out a circuit if you're meditating that much. That's one thing. And then the physical fitness too, you know, and you're wanting to keep the nervous system insulated. So I love all the different kinds of varieties of fat. I don't try to mix too many at one time, and I try to keep things very simple, but I like to have a rotation and variety and an open mind so that I can have an intuitive approach instead of an intellectual approach, which the vast majority of influencers are more engaged in an intellectual conceptualization. You know, I hate to bring this up, but 80-10-10 is kind of the example. Like 80-10-10 year round, all the time, all through life. But it's like, well, and don't get me wrong, I respect Doug Graham. I think that he's doing great, and I appreciate the way he shares. It's really cool. I have nothing against it, but I mean, I'm just saying, more sometimes I'm more like, yo, how about 50-25-25? You know, if I'm doing something else in a different time of my life, or when I'm not in a building phase, and I haven't been for a long time. I've been in a cleansing, regenerating, spiritual, clean up the insides, trauma, childhood, you know, inner engineering, where the lighter and cleaner and the fresher, like mostly liquids and fasting and dry fasting, interspersed, you know. So yeah, I just did like a 3-day dry fast, and it was great. You know what I'm saying? And I just did a 7-day water fast before that. I did a 5-day. So I fast on water or dry fast about half my life. It sounds crazy, but that's for right now. It's when I get to where I want to get to, my hope is to get back into not bodybuilding in the traditional sense, but real physical fitness training as part of my sadhana. But right now I'm in a different, sadhana means spiritual practice. And so you're practicing all these other things that I think I need to bring more harmony and regenerate the brain and learn stillness and solitude and whatnot. My job is talking a lot. I do talk a lot, but I enjoy the time that I set aside to practice silence by myself. And I get a lot of that here. I live in my little apartment alone. I have no dependents, nobody. I have some really cool friends that I talk to every once in a while. I'll see some people at the market. But for the most part right now, I'm a little bit of a loner. And I like that because I'm on this spiritual journey. I don't find that many people that are in alignment. I just talked to one of my dear friends, and she is more in alignment with my religious or spiritual beliefs. We kind of have the same guru, if you will. I have Jesus as my guru, but I also listen to some of the masters from the Far East with their practical and pragmatic steps for self-realization, enlightenment, or the development of the awareness of the absolute state of being and connecting to that. So the closer you get to the source, the more balanced you are, the less fears there is. Because when there's the duality, which is this and that, which is the intellect, which is the 400, which mostly what you get on the social media with the concepts and structures, like I brought up the 80-10-10 structure. But there are times when I feel like more fat is necessary, especially for this type, especially for your skin and your hair and your brain and your tissues, you know. And I think it's good to be a little chubby. I'd like to get a little, definitely more chubbier, but I'm fasting all the time, so that's not going to happen. But you know, it's hard for people to understand. I don't really understand. I'm just doing this thing, and it's very personal and private, and you can't really explain it to anyone. And I kind of stopped because, like, oh my God, you need to nourish yourself. You're dying. I'm like, when I'm fasting, that's how I'm truly nourished. That's the most nourishing, because that's when all the food is out of the way and there's only the divine, you see. And so I'm really being nourished. The physical organism is probably 50 9 to 75 days away from starving to death. You know, most people don't know that, but I've been doing this for a long time. I've read a lot of work. I've done a lot of fasting, and I understand what's happening with this thing. I know what we are. I know what this thing does, and all the ketosis and the autophagy. It's not really that real, but you know, I'm not going to argue with anybody. You have to get the essence of it. It's like pure light, and then you stack a bunch of this stuff on, and then it's like more condensed light stacked on the meat suit. You know, but if you just, you know, but you can operate off very small amount. I mean, you could live, this will not be accepted by most people, but you could put this, to squeeze this into some water a couple times a day, just one of these into some water, and you could just live off that for a long time. You know what I'm saying? You'd be surprised, and would clean you out. I've actually done it. You know, and you just take one of these and put it into some 32 ounces of water, and that's your food. And you can go a long time and do a lot of stuff, and it's pretty amazing, man, the efficiency that your body gets. But the overloading of it, now I love to eat, don't get me wrong. There's a time to eat and there's a time to fast. So there's no one right way, and that's why my job has really been increasingly getting difficult, because it's like it depends on who you are and where you're at. And not everyone is going to want to do hardcore, rigorous sadhana, you know, or austerities. But I'm just drawn to that because I probably was a monk in several lifetimes before this one, you know, and now I'm kind of like this crazy ex-drug addict monk who's like, I can totally relate. I can speak the slang. I get it. I can talk to the alcoholic. I understand what he's going through. I can talk to the billionaire. And the same thing that's going to satisfy the alcoholic on the street is the same thing that's going to satisfy the billionaire. This guy uses alcohol to try to find some kind of solace because he's missing what he's missing. And the billionaire is chasing more money because he's missing what he's missing. But we already have what we are and what we want. It's already in us. There's no gaining of it. It's all these austerities and all these sadhanas and spiritual practices and dedications to diet and things like that, or whatever it is that you choose to do, guides you back. And then as you mature spiritually in your consciousness and awareness, you can start to come back more to the source or to the center. And then you're like, oh, you know, it'll dawn on you one day. You'll be like, why am I trying so hard? You know, to be something different. You know what I mean? Because there's that fear there. And you're just trying so hard, you know, to be something else, but really you could just relax and be yourself, because just the way you are is perfect. The alcoholic is perfect just the way he is. The billionaire, but he might be stressed out, he might have liver disease, and he might say, you know what, I don't want to have liver disease. I'm going to give up this drinking. I'm going to get a job. I'm going to start eating some vegetables and get a little apartment and change my life. If he can find that little bit within him. And the billionaire too, or all these other people too that have successful businesses, but in order to get that success, put on 40, 50 pounds of cortisol, chub from all the stress where you can't digest, and then you're eating all those foods and they just stick there, and there's obesity and there's cellulite because of the chemicals in the food that you use to stimulate you through those periods where you're building your business. You're an entrepreneur. You started it in your late 20s and you worked through your 30s, and now you're in your 40s and you're like 40, 50, 70, 100 pounds overweight because you neglected that part to do that other thing. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. Now you got money, 3 houses, a couple cars, a motorcycle, a boat. That's great. And I'm not saying that sarcastically, but I do talk to a lot of these men mostly, but women too. I get about half and half for my clients that I do consulting with. And, you know, you come back to, yo, man, it's simplicity. And I do the diet thing because I'm a food tripper, you know, and I'm too much of a food tripper. I want to go more in the direction of fasting. I'm not trying to fast myself to death. I'm just trying to do what I do. because it's a very thing that's inside of me, and I never share with anyone hardly, because they're like, oh my God, you're going to starve to death. Oh my God, you got to nurture yourself. I'm like, I'm fine. I'm the fucking expert of the experts. And I say that because, well, it just gets frustrated. Sorry about that. But I just get, because they don't know. Yes, they're getting some results from changing the diet. Hopefully, my friend who said that doesn't see this, because I'm not mad at her or anything. It's just that's what people do. You know, they don't understand what's happening, why this one is drawn. And I do have a couple friends that understand it, thank God. But most of the people, they can't. They're like, don't you want to get more money? Don't you want to get more stuff? Don't you want to get more sex? Don't you want to get more fame? Don't you want to get more followers? Don't you want to get more muscle? Don't you want to get more this? I'm like, no, I don't. I want the one thing that's going to satisfy us all. Now, for some people will say that's Jesus. Some people will say that's this, that, the other, whatever it is. I'm going to say it's your own self. You know? And that's what we're doing all these sadhanas and austerities for, is to realize, oh, duh, why do I need to do all this? I already am that. And you can settle into what you already have been, which is peace and love. It's already there. You're already that as qualities of your truest nature, that which is deep within you, and you're already that. So I see it more and more every day, and I'm able to surrender it. All this stuff, I got to do this, I got to be that, I got to be somebody, I got to do the ego and the conditioning. But then you're like, why can't I just relax and be myself? Why can't I just age and get gray hair? I mean, you know, I'm still actually going to, the people, I've made the video and they're like, oh, you can't reverse gray hair. I'm like, yes, you can. I've seen people do it. I've done it myself, and it can be done. So you can say it or not, but they're not going to do what it takes. People don't do what it takes. That's why for them, it can't be done. But there are, the power of regeneration has never even been explored in society, but a little teeny tiny bit. There were some nice folks like Arnold Ehret, you know, and I have some inside intel on the Arnold Ehret because Tavis's dad used to be pen pals with Teresa Mitchell. And Teresa would write Arnold this, and if you stand next to him, your hair stands on end. And there are people like that that get so luminescent through this path. But there were some other key components that people don't really know about with Arnold Ehret. But it's the fruit and the fasting and the other lifestyle practices that allow for there to be that luminescence and the regeneration of the tissues into illuminated states where the blood is flowing, the minerals are high, the circulation is optimal, the glands are functioning, the hormones are functioning optimally because they've been reversed and regenerated through the various means. So it's life regeneration. I'm doing a class on it tomorrow on the Elite Video Club. And when I do classes, it's a live Zoom, but then I always post the replay later, and we go way more in depth. We do like 2-3 hour long classes. So I hope you can dig it. This is life regeneration electrical food. So if you're going to eat, you might as well eat as much of the light, fresh, living foods as you can. I'm like a liquidarian, man. But I like my little salads too, and I love fats and protein. Don't get me wrong. That's why I'm chilling. And I love to fast, and I love all the tools and all the other stuff that I do. In the context of this show here that I've had for 15 years, I talk about the food trip. So I got a watermelon. When you got the yellow like that, that means it's sweet inside. Can you dig it? I'm going to make a juice recipe for one of my clients. Can you dig it? He was like, give me some more juice recipes. I mean, you can always go to my website. I got a recipe book, regenerateyourlife.org, and check that out over there. You can get the recipe guide. There's like 100 juice recipes in my recipe book. But it's pretty basic. You can get it all online for free. You know, I like my juice recipes the best. They've gotten more simple over the years. They're like mono juices. See these 5 cucumbers? That's going to make probably a little more than a quart. I might even take one of these and put it into the apple, beet, carrot, ginger, and turmeric for the liver cleanse. I've got a 1 durian here. Perfect. So yummy. I'm going to make a nice smoothie out of that with durian and coconut water and meat, and I'm going to throw in a vanilla bean. Can you dig it, baby? I just throw in the whole bean. Some people clean out the seeds, but I don't mind the fiber at all. I think it gives more flavor. Nice vanilla bean. $5 for a vanilla bean. You know how it is. What's up? Everything's going up. Can you dig it? Today we went to the land. So that's everything from the farmer's market that I showed you. Today we went to the land. We got a little cacao. I'm going to throw the cacao. I'm going to have that in the smoothie in the morning. I normally don't do a lot of smoothies, but before I start my next fast, I want to do the coconut. What I just got these primos. I should have brought one in, but it doesn't really matter. You can't see from the outside. Only I can know. And I looked up at that tree and I was like, those are primo. And then when I opened it, it was like, wow, that is really primo. Very unique flavor. Coconuts all have their own personality, but this is chocolate inside here. So I'll get out the beans and put the chocolate with the durian and then the coconut water and meat and then the vanilla beans. So it's going to be banging smoothie. Can you dig it? And I'm going to be jacked up tomorrow and go for some fitness training because I'm always doing this and then I got to come back and make the videos, which I like, but I'm just getting on the video marathon because one of these days I know I'm going to dip back into my DTM silent mode. While I'm coming out right now, I'm trying to feed the beast. Can you dig it? And I appreciate you all being here. I'm trying to, educate, inspire, whatever. It's just basically what I do. These are the last of the lilikoi. I was going to show you. Let me cut open. This one would be good because it's kind of banged up. There's only like 5 of them today. Pretty hard shell, especially on this one. Either that or my knife is dull. I think a combination of both. But that's what this one's nice and wet. That's what's inside there. Oh, praise the Lord. Sour, sweet, a lot of seeds, very ripe. Real good. I know you can hear that. Some people like that. They watch some videos. Little Asian girls eating like piles of pork. I don't see the... Because people be like, I can hear you chewing, you idiot. Turn that off, Be like, chill out. It's just for a minute. Word. I love to eat with my fingers. That's what I do. Next, we got, I think I got about 8 of these bad boys. And I can see like when they get darker, see this one here, this one fell off on accident, but I go for these ones because I know that these are the ones, as they darken, these types of avocados, as they darken, that's an indication that they're starting to ripen. As they're more green like this, they're less ripe. So, but this one fell off because it was right next to another one that was ripe. So you see how even this one I think is the darkest. Yeah, word. See what I'm saying? So this one is premium. But no, I don't know. I don't know if this one, if you pick them too early, sometimes they don't ripen. So you have to pick avocados at the right time. Otherwise, they don't really ever ripen up, and then it sucks. I think I got about, looks like about 7 of those avocados. And I got some big fatties, oranges. Can you dig it? I don't think I need. I already cut one of those open, didn't I? And then there's these amazing. I got tangelos, and then there's 2 different kinds of mandarins. I like to eat the seeds, man. Anyways, it's not like, oh my God, the color of that, it's amazing. It's just, I just figured I'd do that, cut that open. Can't cut the avocado open. And then the tangelos, oranges, And then I've got some lemons in here somewhere that's going to go into my recipe. So I need a big fat lemon. I think there was one that's even, I want to kind of show you how fat these, there's the fatty that I kind of wanted to put into the juice. Look at that. So they're about, but that's a little beautiful. Look at how cute that is with the little leaf. So that's going to go into that juice. Because that one is apple. And I get these apples and it's like, it makes a very expensive juice because these are very expensive apples, but they're so good. They're like $2 a pound more. I think they're called Empire or Envy. Man, are they good. They are sweet and crisp. Can you dig it? So that's going to be, that's the apple, carrot, beet, lemon, and ginger. And maybe a cucumber. We'll see. I want that concentrated because I'm trying to talk about how my boy can clean his liver out. And then I got 2 different kinds of sugar cane. Check it out, y'all. My boy had this like fluorescent green alien sugar cane. It was way greener earlier. And then here's the purple sugar cane. Can you dig it? And I'll get some coconut water. I'm going to drink the green one straight up. And then I got some lettuce. I like to chew on a little bit of lettuce at night. Can you dig it? And so that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed this video. I had fun. I'm having fun again. Because I don't need, it doesn't need to, I thought I just had to like, you know, an artist wants to best his best. Now I'm getting more mature and I'm like, you don't need to be fancy. You don't need to impress anyone. Just do your job. You know, say a few things. Hopefully, you know, it kind of gets people to eat a little better or think something. And then you make some Google AdSense and you get a few clients on the consults and you sell the Paradigm and the Morocco method and you know, it's just, I'm really grateful. And so I'm more just like, it's like a practical thing. It's like after a while you just get up and go to work, you know, but I'm actually having fun again because I appreciate the people, the comments, my friends watching, you know, like, oh, I saw that video. You're so funny. The 80 cheeseburger from 1982. You know, they'll say that at the market out of the blue. I'm like, wow. It still blows me away that people actually watch these videos. It's weird. After 15 years. Many of my friends and stuff. So hello, my friends, everyone out there that knows me in real life. And you know who you are. You know, weirdos. You could just call me up. No. But I love, and I'm grateful, and I'm so happy to be here, to have this thing. It's been a really cool thing. The Life Regenerator thing's one of the coolest things that ever happened to me. And it's kind of over a little bit, sort of, because I'm not, you know, what I was, because I'm not delusional anymore. The world isn't going to go raw, you know, and that's okay. I don't even care. I don't even think that's the be-all, end-all. It's more of a consciousness thing. Let's end it at 3333 for good luck. And I'll see you on the next video because you're going to give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment to boost me in the algorithms. Thank you, and God bless you.